So the point of this workshop that I want to start doing monthly with everyone, it's not to kind of tell you about the foods that you should be eating and stuff like that, because generally most people kind of know what we should be eating. The problem is just doing it. So it's more about how we can change, our mindset around food, our relationship with food, and generally just how we approach life day to day. So we're going to talk about habit loops, we're going to talk about environmental triggers, emotional eating, and yeah, just go through different things that you all kind of experience. And I want it to be interactive as well, so you'll see the booklets in front of you. So this is just for your own kind of takeaways of everything. So I want you to try to kind of build a diet that's going to work for you personally, because everyone's a little bit different. Everyone's going to have different factors in your life. Things are going to come up, situations are going to come up, and it's going to make dieting hard sometimes, but it's about trying to navigate through them times. And everything that we cover is just about trying to change the way we think around food. So a big part of this is, and I'll come into this a little bit deeper, but it's about kind of changing your identity a little bit, and it's how you can perceive how you attack certain situations, around your nutrition and your lifestyle. Because can everyone agree that you kind of maybe know what to eat, but it's just kind of doing it? Is that a fair comment? Yeah. So, I could stand here and tell you everything about the right foods that you should be eating, the protein, the macros and all that kind of stuff, but it's probably not going to really get you anywhere. It's actually about doing it. So, yeah, the main thing I want you to come away from this is actually building more of an awareness around how to approach your diet. And you might not kind of get this straight away. It's like anything, you have to practice it. It's like going to the gym. You're not just going to get your first session and squat 100 kilograms. It's just about building it up. So it's the same with your brain. You've got to train it. You've got to change your mindset, and you've got to practice it. So I'm going to be putting on one of these every month. So I strongly recommend making it a habit to come, because it just keeps you in check, and you'll learn different things as we go along. So this is what I'd like to call it, is eat like the person you want to be. So what we'll get into is, I want you to start thinking about your future self. So if you can imagine a healthier version of you that makes amazing choices all the time and doesn't make huge mistakes with their diet consistently, I want you to try to kind of picture the person that is doing that for yourself, okay? So I want to get into a task straight away, so if you just flip onto the first page. So I want you to think, what would your ideal self eat for breakfast? So this doesn't mean the breakfast that you would eat right now, unless you think it's a healthy choice, then put that down by all means. But I want you to try and think of the healthiest version of you in the future and write down what that person would eat for breakfast. So we'll just take 5 minutes. So I'd love to get some ideas. Anyone want to shout up?
Granola, berries and mango.
Nice, yep. Cool. Anybody else?
Yeah, mine's yogurt, banana, nuts, eggs.
Yeah. Cool. Anybody else?
On wholemeal toast and a cup of tea.
Cool, nice. Got to get the cup of tea in there. Anything different to that? Are we all similar?
I've got healthy options, but options that keep you full for lunch, rather than having something that won't keep me full and then I'll snack at 11 or whatever.
Yeah.
Something that keeps me full.
Yeah. What would that be?
I don't know, something probably eggs or toast or something like that.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Cool, yeah. So yeah, first of all, there's no wrong or right answers to this. I'm just trying to get you to think and think collaboratively. So yeah, I mean, they're all good breakfast choices in my opinion. So if you're starting off the day with some form of protein, is always the best way to start off basing a meal, and then some nutritious stuff in there. So you've got berries, yogurt, eggs. It's perfect. Okay. So did anyone get anything completely different, low nutritious food or anything?
I picked some porridge with
some fruit.
Yeah, porridge, it's good. Oats are really good. Yeah, so yeah, all good ideas there. So so there's your breakfast sorted, so you've all got breakfast ticked off, and that's an easy way to start the day. So it is important to know, guys, that this workshop, it's not like about being perfect, anything like that. It's about becoming the kind of person who eats well without battling themselves daily. So that's a really important part, is that we don't want to go through life battling ourselves with nutrition. We want it to be easy. We want decisions to be simple. And by changing your mindset and your identity around food, that is how you're going to do that. So we'll go into that a little bit more, but it is just important to know that, you know, I'm not asking you to be perfect or anything like that. We're always going to have times where we want to indulge, have low nutritious food, and that is fine as long as we've got everything else dialed in most of the time. So why most diets fail, and why it's not your fault as well. Number one, the willpower myth. So if we're always working off willpower, what do you think is going to happen? You give up. Yeah, it doesn't last, does it? So if we're just battling ourselves through pure willpower, we're never actually going to make sustainable change. We might be able to do it for 6 weeks, 12 weeks at a push if you're really, really strong-minded, and you might make some progress in that sense, but then it's just going to unravel and then we're going to go backwards. So we need to create a lifestyle, a diet habit, and a mindset that enables us to make progress without willpower. Okay, sometimes we're going to need a bit of willpower, like we're just going to have to make some choices through willpower, but we're not going to be able to do that all the time. So our mindset is going to change that. Number two, we've got to look into habit loops and environmental triggers. So we're going to go into habit loops in a little bit, but these are just sequences that we can use to create better habits in our life. Just like brushing our teeth. We all learnt that when we were younger. We've created it. We've done it all our lives. So we can do that with food as well, okay? And we've got environmental triggers as well. So these are just things in our environments that trigger us to eat low nutritious food. It could be mental, emotional. It could be the way we design our kitchen, the way we have certain foods in our kitchen. So we're going to go into little bits of that as well. And then we've got identity versus outcome-based goals. So things like I want to eat healthy versus I am someone who eats healthy. So we're going to go through like the language you should be using as well, because that is like a really, really important part. And it's something that I see from so many people, is the language you use around how you perceive yourself as an unhealthy person versus somebody that is trying to be healthy. So we'll go into that in a little bit as well. So this isn't in your books, but I'd love to get some ideas. What is a diet plan or a diet kind of regime that you've tried that's failed, and why do you think it didn't stick as well? So I've got the main Weight Watchers up there that most people have tried and probably hasn't lasted too long. So has anyone got any diets that they've tried? All right, Tim.
Oh, yeah.
You're just down here, mate.
So I've tried Weight Watchers. I went years ago, lost 2 stone, kept going for a bit, and then it's gradually started to creep on, and then I just stopped going. So I think the mindset is you pay and you go, you're really strict because you want to see that weight loss the next week. But you get into old habits and you stop going, and then you start putting it all back on again. So.
Yeah. Why do you think that kind of isn't sustainable long term?
Because it's, from what I remember, it was quite strict all the time. You had to count everything, watch everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was quite strict.
Yeah, so it's not helping your mindset, is it? Probably. In my opinion, Weight Watchers is a load of rubbish, to be honest. Counting points, or I don't know what, is it sins or points or something for food? It's not like the healthiest way to approach how you perceive food is putting points on it. So yeah, you know, it works if you stick to it for short term, but probably not the best like long term. Anyone else tried anything else? I'm sure there's lots of diets out there. Low carbs, yeah. How did that make you feel?
I I lost a bit of weight at first, but I just piled back on as soon as I started reintroducing carbs.
Yeah.
And then you're back to square one.
Yeah. That's the thing from banishing a certain macronutrient out of your diet. As soon as you reintroduce it, then things then regress. Yeah.
I think it's saying you're on a diet as well. That puts pressure on you as well.
Yeah. What, just from taking something completely out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
It's like
about
a regime.
Yeah. The minute you say you're on a diet, you eat all the food.
No carb, like a lot of foods are carbs, so it's very hard to get rid of them completely.
All the good foods are in carbs as well.
Like pasta, any form of potatoes, rice, so it's very limited. So.
Exactly, yeah. See, I'd never suggest to kick out any macronutrient actually. I mean, interestingly, carbs is the only macronutrient your body doesn't need to survive, but it gives you energy, and it is a fuel source that you can use. So the main thing is, like, your body needs nutrients, it needs food to survive. Like, the best way to build your body is by nourishing it as much as you can, whilst controlling, your kind of calorie deficit. But yeah, we'll come into that a bit more. Any other diets people have tried? Just Weight Watchers, no carbs.
Some world, but again, that was like much the same. That was years ago.
Yeah.
Red and green days. I lost about 4 pounds on that. Didn't like that one.
So yeah, the thing I'm getting at is, a balanced approach is a way to create a better diet and a better mindset around it. So there's an American author called James Clear. So he said every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. So that really stood out for me, because when we think about the actions that we take every single day, they're the main thing that creates our future self, in a way. So if we're constantly taking negative action steps or unhealthy action steps, you're just kind of creating that person in the future. Whereas, and this doesn't need to be big steps, it can be tiny little steps, tiny action steps that you can do daily can help create that better future self of like the version of you. So the thing to kind of take away from this is trying to build better habits daily, whether it's the smallest things, they can all build up and multiply, and then that's going to create that better version of yourself in the future. So like I said, this is all like practice. You can't just like flip a switch and then suddenly you're this super healthy person that doesn't have any issues with food. It's all about kind of building these habits and building blocks as you go through it. So what I want you to do now is we're going to have a future self interview with yourself. So if you flip to the next page, there's a few questions I want you to go through. So you can talk to each other with this as well. It's good to kind of get other people's perspectives. But I want you to think, what do you eat for lunch? I want you to try and think, how do you feel after that meal? So think about your future self, the healthy version of yourself. What would you eat and how would you feel afterwards? And then just try and kind of like compare it to potentially what you do now, and how you feel after a meal now. And then ask yourself, how do you handle stress eating as well? So think, how do you handle stress eating now, and how that future version of yourself would handle that situation. Okay, so we'll spend like 5 minutes or so on this. So write some stuff down, chat with each other if you want. Okay guys, any ideas for lunch? What's our healthy options?
I just have chicken, rice and veg.
Chicken, rice and veg, solid.
Oven cooked veg.
Oven cooked tonight.
Well done.
There you go. Anyone else?
I've got soups, but I don't know if they're healthy or good options, but they're easy to make and store.
All right, that's all right. I'm not going to tell you what's right or wrong, because it's all interpretation. Well, this is it. This is what we're trying to like discover, is what's going to work in your life. Like, you might not be able to make chicken, rice and broccoli. You might not like soup. There you go. So it's all about finding, something that works, but something that's actually going to, give us progress towards our goals. And what else could we add? So if you're having soup, do you think that you're getting enough protein in that meal? So what else could you do to increase that?
Add some form of protein in.
Such as?
No, that's not. I can add to it to be protein. I'll only have a look to see what I can add. Maybe swap and not have soup all the time and look at getting possibly like meat and rice or meat and a veg option.
If you can, yeah, if you can.
Add chicken, make a chicken soup.
There you go, chicken soup, there you go. Increase your protein already, easy. Anybody else, any ideas?
Chicken salad.
Chicken salad, nice, solid meal. Anything else?
Salad, yogurt.
Yeah, okay. Salad. So yeah, we're going down nutritionist food, so all whole foods that we're choosing. That's the best thing that I've heard out of all that. You know, nothing processed, nothing packeted with loads of preservatives in. So that's what we're wanting to try and create our diet as much as possible. Whole foods over processed foods. Does anyone struggle with having lunch, like time-wise, through work? Yeah? Is that like an issue to try and get something in an afternoon?
It is. Well, what I've tried to do since joining is actually trying to cook or make food the night before and take food with me. So I can eat it, I've got it with me rather than having to go out and get like a sandwich in a packet or a meal deal or something.
Nice. I'm glad you brought that up because that's planning and preparing. So something I always preach to everybody is, you know, being prepared. Like if you can prepare, then you're going to make better choices. It's easier. If you fail to prepare, then obviously the easy option always comes, doesn't it? So does everyone have a good preparation kind of routine in place, or do you feel preparation's a problem?
No.
Preparation.
Yeah, preparation's a problem. A few mixed responses there then. So yeah, I mean, preparing is so important. Like I would honestly say that an hour spent preparing your food is more important than an hour in the gym training. Like it's going to do so much more for you for your health and your body composition goals than going to the gym. So if you're spending 3 hours in the gym each week, I'd honestly just say don't bother going once and sort your food out first. Obviously we want to do both, go to the gym and look after our food, but just to let you know that the importance of planning and preparing your meals is going to make such a difference to how you go through the weeks. So yeah, super important. So some nutrition truth bombs. You'll probably know most of these already, but it's just good to kind of bring them up if you don't. So there are a lot of myths out there. You'll come across this day to day on Facebook or online or whatever. The nutrition world is full of information right now, and it gets hard to kind of, pick apart the good stuff from the bad stuff. So carbs make you fat. No, they don't. You need to eat every 3 hours to boost your metabolism. Not necessarily. You can't eat after 6 p.m, a load of rubbish. So if you've heard those things before and you think they're true, it definitely isn't. What we should be focusing on though, guys, protein and satiety first. If we can really focus on getting protein in every meal, it's going to make us more fuller for longer, basically. So we're going to make better choices. We're not going to snack as much. We're not going to fall into any kind of sugar crashes or anything like that. Because we are just keeping ourselves full, and all the other benefits that go with protein, which I'm not going to go right into. But that should be your kind of, whenever you sit down to make a meal, protein should be the first kind of point of call out of that meal that you're kind of constructing. Ultra processed foods versus whole foods. So like I said, if we can get our diet full of whole foods compared to ultra processed foods, that is going to make your body look better. So you'll have heard me and the whole of the industry tell you that calories in versus calories out is important, and it is. Like you need to be in a deficit to be able to lose weight. But the way our body composition looks and the way our definition comes in, the way our skin looks, is all going to come down to the quality of food that you're putting in your body. So if most of our diet's just filled with ultra processed foods and we're still in a deficit, our body can still look crap, to be honest with you. So if we are filling ourselves with whole foods, these are more natural foods that are going to complement our body. and our health. There's going to be less rubbish in them, and generally they're going to fill you up more than ultra-processed foods that are full of sugar and salt and whatever else. So my kind of like advice is to try and fill yourself with 80% whole foods, and then you can allow yourself kind of 20% less quality foods in your diet, and that generally will give you pretty good results. If you want to kind of, you know, take it to the next level, I'd probably suggest like 90 to 10% split. That's generally what I kind of eat at. But overall, if you can get 80% of your diet throughout your whole, you know, week, whole foods, and then 20% can be less nutritious foods, then you're going to be doing pretty good. Then after that, we need to be thinking about like blood sugar and energy crashes. So if you are pretty new to changing your diet, and it's you know, something that's you know, a process that you're just starting, then this I wouldn't focus on as much. I would really try and start to focus on these two first before you start to think about this. But if you've been doing it a while, if you've been dieting for you know, many years, then you can start to look at how, you know, blood sugar and energy crashes do affect you. And this can be the timings that we eat, the foods that we eat in those timings. For example, if we are, you know, eating carbohydrate sources, we can include some healthy fats to help slow down the absorption of those carbs, and this just helps to, you know, reduce like insulin spikes and that type of stuff that help you store fat. So we can look into that a little bit further down the line in your journey, but for the most part, I would definitely be thinking about increasing your protein and then increasing whole foods, and then you will be doing pretty good. And then last I put on there, prioritize sleep and hydration. So these are obviously things we all know. We need to drink water, we need to sleep well, but it is so crucial, guys, like sleep especially, that affects everything that we do. Our hormones, our metabolism, our decisions, everything comes through being you know, well slept. And if we are sleep deprived, then we make worse choices because of our hunger hormones. Our metabolism slows down, our energy levels are obviously lower. So if sleep is an issue, then this is a massive area that you kind of need to focus on. And I know it's not easy for everybody. You might have kids, you might have work, whatever. You know, sleep is difficult to fully conquer if you've got certain situations. But if it's something that you don't kind of really think about, and you just kind of, you know, go to bed when you want, wake up when you want, then it is going to affect how you kind of how your body works basically. So a consistent sleep-wake cycle is super important. So I go to bed every night at the same time, I get up at the same time, and this just creates a body clock, just like anything. And you know, just winding down before bed as well, so cutting out screen time. You know, I'm sure you've heard all this before, and just trying to find a routine that sends you off to sleep in a better way, reading a book, having a bath, or whatever it is, just to kind of like lower your state. And then hydration. Anybody that tells me they can't drink water, I just don't really believe them, because it is a simple task. You know, we can all drink water. We've just got to make it a habit again, and it is just creating a habit routine. So however you want to do that personally, you've got to try and find a way, because water is such a crucial part as well. Okay, so habit hacking your nutrition is next. So we're going to do a little task. So this is really cool, and this is going to be a big part of how you change yourself, and it is habit hacking. So we can introduce different habits into our life. Yep, so change onto your next page. And there are different things that we can focus on to do this. So we'll come into doing your own habits in a little bit, but I just want to kind of give you some examples. So there's a thing called habit stacking. So for example, after I pour my coffee, I prep my protein snack. So like I go back to brushing your teeth. Like after breakfast we brush our teeth, before we go to bed we brush our teeth. It's a habit, it's a loop, you just do that automatically. So can you start to think about things that you can put into your life that then triggers a more positive response? So I'm sure you can try and think of some negative ones now in your brain that you do at the moment. You know, what does something that triggers you, that leads you into something, you know, negative, like eating chocolate or having a drink or, you know, whatever it is, you can probably think of something. So I want you to try and think about how can you create a better response from something. So I'm sure you'll have heard before, like the best way to break a bad habit is just create a better one. So this is what we're going to do. And then we've got environmental design as well. So for example, putting fruit on your counter instead of biscuits. That's such a simple thing, but you know, a lot of us can fill our cupboards with all the stuff that we shouldn't be eating, and it's just temptation. Like, again, going back to willpower, there's only so long that you can do that for. Whereas if our environment's better and we're actually, you know, giving ourselves the best chance to make better choices, then it's going to be easier for you to stick through that. So if you're the type of person that just has a cupboard full of crisps and chocolate, then, you know, it's probably going to only lead one way. If your cupboard's full of alcohol and, you know, you get to the weekend, then it's likely you're going to drink it. Whereas if we don't have it there, then your decision to then go and drive to a shop and then buy it, you're probably more likely going to not do that than if it was in the cupboard, because you can't bother to get up and go to the shop. So we've got to try and just give ourselves the best chance in life to make better choices, and your environment is super crucial for that. And then I've got never miss twice rule. So never miss a nutritious meal twice in a row. So this isn't like a hack that your body suddenly burns loads of fat or anything like that. It's, again, your mindset. So if you've missed a nutritious meal, you've had a bad meal, the most important thing to do is have something healthy on your next meal, because then it just reverts your mindset straight back into being that healthier version of you, rather than, you know, if you've had a Saturday, you've had a really bad meal, and then on the Sunday you kind of follow it through, and then all the weekend has just gone through, and that's 2 days out of your whole week where you've ate low quality food. So instead of that, we can switch our thinking, you know, reverse engineer it, and then get something nutritious in afterwards, and then you're going to start to kind of follow back into that positive way of thinking with it. And then I've got make the healthy choice the easy choice. So like I was saying, prepare to succeed. Literally, planning and preparing is one of the most important things that you can do. If you don't prepare, then it's so much more likely that you're going to make worse choices. So yeah, preparing is important. So, habit hacking challenge, guys. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to write down a day of eating for your ideal identity. So you can use them options that you've already used, but obviously you've got a full day now. So I want you to include snacks, treats, meals and drinks. And I want you to add habit cues for each of those, okay? So I want you to try and think of cues that you can use within your life to then lead you into making a healthy choice. So full day of eating, include everything, and think of a habit cue. And again, just speak to each other if you need to, guys. And remember, you know, it's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent 80% of the time and not beating yourself up 20% of the time. Okay guys, so main thing I want to just hear is some habit cues out of this really. What has anyone got?
Meal prep.
Yeah? What's your cue for that?
Do it not.
Yeah. So what's going to trigger it though? You know, what are you going to commit to?
I don't know.
This is what I want to find out. So how can you kind of integrate that into your week? Like, is there a...
Sunday night.
Okay, so Sunday night, yes. So end of the week, you've done all your tasks on Sunday, whatever that is, make Sunday night the day to do it. Yeah? Anybody else got any habit cues?
Yeah, I wrote down having a well-stocked fridge in mind, because I find that that's when I tend to go out for food. When I don't have anything in the fridge, or if they were low on groceries that I haven't done,
Yeah.
I'll have a good week, but we'll just done a shop and then
Goes down from there, yeah. Exactly right, yeah. So that goes back to like the environmental kind of design. So making sure that you always have those choices there, because yeah, if you lose routine of that, then obviously nothing in the fridge, it's easy to ring up Deliveroo or, you know, whatever. So yeah, what can you do then to make sure that you always have something stocked up?
Just getting into a routine of weekly shop list.
Yeah.
To know when things are
Yeah.
running out and just making sure
Yeah, exactly.
I have a day to stock up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. So just create a habit, create a routine. I do my food shop every Monday morning, and I just do that every single week, and then yeah, you're in a habit routine. So figure out whenever works for you. Yeah. Any others, guys?
When I need to clean, I call somebody that I can talk to for about an hour, and then I clean up while I'm on the phone with them. So I'm going to try and do that when I'm in prepping as well.
Okay, yeah.
Be on the phone and do something that I enjoy
Nice. Yeah.
doing, a couple of minutes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so use your time wisely. Like if you've already got something that's, you know, a habit, try and integrate it with something good as well. Yeah, nice one, Rudy.
I'm just going to set my alarm on my phone to make sure I eat mid-morning because I'm dreadful for not eating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm going to have a 10 o'clock alarm and I'm going to have a banana and yogurt.
bang on. Yeah,
Instead of leaving it till 2 o'clock in the afternoon and wanting to start.
yeah. Honestly, like reminders and stuff on your phone, like I live by them. Like if I don't have reminders, then you know time runs away from you. If you're working, you know, your mind's gone, and then hours have passed, and then you've missed a meal. So yeah, set reminders on your phone, set a timer. It's just really useful. Anything else?
I'm really bad at making myself breakfast in the morning, but it's stupid because I go downstairs into my kitchen and make myself a coffee. So why can't I make myself a breakfast at the same time I'm making my coffee? So I'm going to try and, when I go down and do a coffee, get myself some food, even if it's just like a yogurt or a banana.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So
No excuse, I'm in the room.
this is it, guys. Like you've got all the answers. It's just going off and doing it, and it's just like proactively thinking about it. This is what this is all about, is just to get you proactively thinking about, you know, what you already kind of know you should be doing, but just going off and doing it. So yeah, nice one. Any more?
I put getting the, say if I'm making porridge or something, get the ingredients and get the pan out the night before and get all the stuff, because sometimes I'll think, oh, porridge, and then I think, oh, I can't be bothered. And then I'll just have a crumpet with some butter and jam on it. Or
Yeah, easy option.
yeah, just maybe plan and get the stuff out ready to.
Yep, exactly it. Planning, preparing. so yeah, if you just get things organised and just be more organised around your food, you're going to make, you know, positive choices more often than not. Any last ones? All of them? No, yeah, so really good ones. Hopefully that's kind of like helped other people with different things as well. So we're going to go into some mindset shifts that stick. So again, like this is like about the language that we use about ourselves, and this is like really important, and it's, you know, it's quite deep the way you think about it. But mindset shifts can, you know, completely be a game changer to how you perceive food and how you talk about yourself, and not even just around food either. Like it could be anything in life. It could be physical, it could be mental, emotional, anything. And like I say, I come across so many people, and I'm actually going to use my sister as a prime example of this. If you met my sister, she is completely the opposite to me. We are like polar opposites of the spectrum. I've tried all my life to try and get her to exercise and eat healthy, but it's just not going to happen because I'm a little brother and she don't listen to me. But she has a way of thinking that she's unhealthy and that's just the way she is and she's never going to change. And sadly, like, she ain't going to change with that mindset. So, and I've come across a lot of people that are like this. So, and that's okay. It's okay to be like that, but you've just got to be open to changing. So these are things, so people will say things from, I blew it, I'll start Monday. So that's a negative way of thinking. We can change that to, one bad choice doesn't define me. So the way we think about things, the way we say things is super important on our action steps. So from I deserve a treat to I deserve to feel good. So how many times have you told yourself you deserve a treat after a hard day or something like that, yeah. Whereas if we flip that and say, well, actually, I deserve to feel good, I deserve to have more energy, I deserve to feel more confident in my body, then we're going to make better choices than just saying, oh, I'll just have a treat, go on then. From I'm bad at this to I'm practicing being the kind of person who eats well. So, you know, we'll have all probably said this before, you know, I'm bad at this, I'm bad at that. And, you know, like I say, that's okay, I'll have done it before. But we've got to be kinder to ourselves in the way we speak about ourselves. So instead of just saying, I'm bad at this, I can't change my diet, I'm rubbish at going to the gym, I'm not strong, I'm not fit. Instead, we've got to say, you know, I'm practicing being that kind of person. So I'm actually, you know, doing something about it, and everyone here is doing it. You know, you're all here today, you're all in the gym each week, you're all trying to be better versions of yourself, which is amazing. And I massively respect that. So you've got to speak like that as well. You've got to be kind to yourself and say, I am a person who's trying, I'm going to stick at it, and I am going to change, rather than, you know, I'm bad at this, it's just not working, I can't do it. And again, you know, this won't work for me. You know, I hear that loads of times, rather than I'm on a journey to find what is going to work for me. So whenever you come up with an obstacle or, you know, a hurdle, instead of saying, you know, it's not working, or I'm not making any progress, we can flip that and just say, listen, I've tried that, it's not potentially worked for me, I'm going to keep trying and find something that is going to work for me. And those that stick to things and, you know, persevere are always going to win over the people that give up. So what I want you to do, guys, we've got a couple more things to do before we finish. So I want you to flip the script on how you currently talk about yourself. So I want you to try and think of one negative food thought you have had recently, and then rewrite it with a better mindset. And this is going to, you know, really just dig in deep on what you currently think and how you can think better. So a couple of minutes quickly on this one, if you can think of any negative food thoughts that you've thought of. Cool, has anyone got any recent negative food thoughts that they've had, guys? Loads.
I ate something like unhealthy or like processed foods, so I felt really bad, and I was like, oh, you know, felt really guilty about it. So just changing that to being like, everyone can make mistakes, but you just get back on track again.
Perfect, yeah.
Rather than punishing yourself.
Exactly, that's it. That's the right kind of terminology that I'm trying to get across, yeah. So yeah, that's a really good one. Anyone want to share, or it's good?
Something about taste and processed foods tend to be very tasty. Maybe it's the salt or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's the negative. Maybe the positive is to try and experiment with whole foods that are tasty.
Yeah, perfect.
I've no idea what that means or what that looks like. But,
not quinoa.
yeah.
No, that's
there are tasty whole foods, but
it's yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
Exactly right.
Like, curry vegetables or something like that would be one
Yeah.
thought that I had.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, exactly right. You know, whole foods, if you eat them plain, and they're going to be pretty boring compared to processed foods that have lots of salt and other stuff in, obviously. So yeah, we've got to create our meals to a taste that we like. So we can use herbs and spices, lower calorie sauces and that type of stuff to make them more interesting. Me and Charlotte have a lot of like Thai food, like chicken teriyaki or something like that. There's loads of meals that you can make that are really tasty, but just including high quality foods in them. You know, there's loads of chicken and rice meals that don't just need to be plain chicken and rice. You know, you can make them tasty. Yeah. So yeah, nice one. So the last one I want you to do before we go, guys, because the last thing I want you all to do is just sit here for an hour, take in all the information, and then not actually do anything with it. Like, there's literally no point in being here. So there's just too much of that going on. You know, loads of people soak up all the information, but they never actually implement any of it. So I want you to really come away from this and actually do something about it, because I'll be asking you next time, if you come to the next one, you know, what have you done from now until then? And hopefully you have made some really positive changes. So I want you to write down, what is one identity-based nutrition habit you will commit to this week? So one habit that you're going to implement right away this week and commit to it. So these could be, I'm a person who preps lunch on Sundays, late. I'm someone who hydrates before every meal. I'm somebody who doesn't give in to peer pressure in social situations. I'm the type of person who eats veggies daily because I want to feel good. Okay, so there's a few examples, but I want you to try and think of one that's important to you and that you can actually do this week. We all got something? Cool. So I'm not going to ask you for it, but just take it away, make sure you implement it. And yeah, I hope you've found some of that useful, guys. I know it's a little bit more around the mindset-y stuff, but each one of these I'm going to do, we're going to cover a bit of a different topic. So it could be sleep, it could be all different types of things. And I've timed that pretty well. I was a bit worried that it might go over or under, but it's worked out all right. So yeah, the next one is going to be on Tuesday the 26th of August, so same time. For all of you that have made the effort to come, you all get first dibs if you want to come, so just let me know, and then I'll be releasing it out to everybody else as well. But yeah, if you want to cement a spot for the next one, let me know and your name's down. And yeah, make sure that you go away and do stuff about this, because it's super important. And if you have any topics you want to cover or things that you are struggling with, just let me know, and then I can try and cover that as well. There's going to be people that struggle with different areas and different things, so I want to try and cover everything. And this is just going to be a really important monthly meeting to keep you on track, keep your mind engaged, learn new things and new techniques, and get better results. So yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.